It seems that we are always being warned about the dangers of something these days. But we all have different levels of comfort when it comes to what we think are risky activities. Because of this, we sometimes pass these feelings on to our children without even knowing it. When these feelings get in the way of the healthy, confident development of our children, we need to rethink how we approach the idea of risk. Isn't it about time we talk about risky play? If you are nervous about allowing your kids to engage in risky play, you are not alone. However, sometimes this added worry is based on either too much poor information about the dangers of different activities or not enough researched information. The truth is that our children are safer than they have ever been. Here are some facts that may set your mind at ease. Based on RCMP reports, the odds of a total stranger abducting your child are about 1 in 14 million. That's a lot, especially when you consider that the chances of dying while attending a dance party are 1 in 100,000. Most injuries during outdoor play are relatively minor. Sure, broken bones and head injuries can occur, but really serious injuries don't really happen that often. Canadian children are 8 times more likely to die as a passenger in a vehicle than being hit by a vehicle when outside on foot or riding a bike. Obviously, as a parent or caregiver, you want to protect the safety of your child. But for children to learn valuable lessons, gain confidence, develop spatial awareness, and develop life skills, some amount of risk is necessary. Risk is often seen as a bad word, but it's not. It's part of life. As the saying goes, no risk, no reward. In fact, not letting your child take risks has its own drawbacks. They may grow up feeling anxious in certain situations or become less active. This could lead to an adult not wanting to try new things because of fear or lack of confidence. And here's the thing. Your kids will probably take part in risky play when you're not around, even if you don't let them do it in your presence. So wouldn't it be better if you could be with them as they learn the difference between good risky behavior and poor risky behavior, especially when they are young? By allowing them to experiment with risky play in a controlled environment, you provide them with valuable play experience while reducing the chance of injury. So, what is a reasonable risk anyway? A reasonable risk is any action, behavior, or activity that moves a person toward what looks like danger but has been carefully thought out beforehand. That sounds a lot like any of the greatest achievements of humanity. Your goal as a parent is to make things as safe as necessary for your children, but maybe not as safe as possible. Children learn about the world around them by taking risks. They learn the consequences of their actions and how to keep themselves safe in different situations. Children want and need to take risks and experience uncertainty to be confident, successful, and healthy individuals. With that in mind, let's look at some of the benefits of allowing our children to take risks. 1. Every time a child considers a risky decision, no matter how small, she develops her independent thinking skills and engages in self-reflection. This split-second decision-making is important practice in finding her potential, learning her limits, and building self-awareness. 2. A child's neurological system was designed to seek out sensory input in order to develop. When we keep children from taking risks, we delay sensory and motor development. 3. Children often take risks while playing with others. Reasonable risk-taking allows kids to develop the assertiveness and self-confidence they need to participate positively in social settings. 4. Reasonable risk-taking in play results in a comfortable willingness to make mistakes and learn from failure, which grows confidence. Those are some pretty good reasons to encourage risky play. So what is the downside of not allowing our children to take necessary risks in play? Evidence suggests that kids take more risks when things are too safe. They will climb higher and fall harder. Therefore, by actively introducing risky play in a child's life, they will be better able to gauge the risk they are involved in and find a healthy outlet. Also, if they don't get the chance to take risks in playgrounds or other places where it is reasonably safe, they're going to look for them elsewhere, where it could be far more dangerous and destructive. Playing outdoors requires a good amount of reasonable risk-taking, But staying indoors, where it is supposedly safe, puts our children at an even higher risk of health issues and motor or sensory delays. Children may lose interest in things altogether and turn to more inactive forms of entertainment, which can be equally as dangerous in the age of rising childhood obesity rates. So now you know the advantages of risky play. What are some types of risky play we can start practicing? Here are 6 types. 1. Up, up, and away. Explore great heights, including climbing, jumping, balancing, and hanging. Give children a bird's eye view of the world. It will change their perspective forever. 2. Need for speed. Give them that high-speed feeling. Let them feel the wind in their hair and the thrill of going fast. 3. Tools of the trade. Let them handle different tools. Let them know what it is like to work with their hands. Start small with hammers, screwdrivers, and wrenches. Then work your way up to little saws, and eventually bigger saws and blowtorches. Okay, well, maybe not until they are a bit older. 4. Exposure to the elements. Expose them to dangerous elements and environments. Let them get wet, cold, hot, dirty, tired, and even risk getting the odd bump or bruise. Let them go out in the rain or snow, and most exciting of all, expose them to fire by letting them learn how to build a campfire with you, how to roast marshmallows, or poke it with a stick to stoke the fire alongside you. 5. Be a superhero. Many children love play fighting. It's the stuff of action movies. The key is to teach children to check in with their playmates and make sure it's still fun for them by saying things like, "Are you okay?" or "Are you ready?" 6. Now you see me. Let them explore, play peekaboo, hide and seek, and other games where you are not always in sight. As you engage in each type of play we just mentioned, follow these 7 tips to help you have the best experience. Explore. Get outside. Go other places than your own backyard or your local park. Find a forest, a trail, a stream. Get off the beaten path. Take them to places not designed just for kids or where not everyone goes. Engage their imagination. Find a place to play and pretend. It's a regal castle, mighty fortress, high-tech space station, forbidden planet, or a lush jungle. Look for natural spaces like leaves, holes, hills, climbing structures, and hiding places. Social play. Get together with other parents and families and find ways to engage in risky play together. No helicopters allowed. Avoid being a helicopter parent that spies or hovers around kids, constantly giving warnings when there is no clear threat. Children need time to play together alone and with other children. Participate. Play with them. Follow their lead. Let them direct the play, not you. Delayed intervention. Delay getting involved in problems you think might be coming in their play. Give them a chance to solve the problem or figure things out themselves before you intervene, if the activity isn't life-threatening, of course. And finally, be safe, but not safe as possible. Obviously, we need to use common sense when it comes to safety, but safe as possible is not always helpful for growth and confidence. All these tips will help you and your children engage in risky play that is safe, enjoyable, and enriching for the whole family. One of the most common things parents say to their kids when they see any unsafe activity is, "Be careful." But what does that even mean? It can be unclear and unhelpful, and kids don't always know how to apply it. When you want to say, "Be careful," ask yourself, what is the threat that I'm afraid of? If there is a real threat, ask yourself if warning your child about it outweighs your desire that she or he is an active, healthy, and well-socialized kid. As we allow our children to engage in risky play, it's better to be more specific and helpful in our instructions so they can learn. Always remember not to overdo the instruction to the point where it becomes controlling. So instead of saying this, how about saying this? When you feel like saying this, maybe say this. At The Rock early on, we see children as competent, curious, and capable of complex thinking. We created our play areas according to the latest understanding of risky play by removing clutter, using creative and thoughtfully placed open-ended materials like loose parts. The Rock Early On Center is not a child-proofed environment. It's not designed to get rid of all risk or access to breakable items or physical challenges. Children need to learn to exercise self-control and become aware of their own actions, and we want to give them opportunities to think things through. Every child should feel that he or she belongs, is a valuable contributor to his or her surroundings, and deserves the opportunity to succeed. When we recognize children as capable and curious, we are more likely to provide programs and services that value their strengths and abilities and build upon them. What is your role as the parent or caregiver while here playing at the Rock Early On Center? It's to be fully engaged in play with your child, following their lead while coaching and teaching them how to use materials safely. If you are not sure about allowing them to play with small loose parts and other toys, remember you are your child's first teacher. They should be allowed to play freely without being micromanaged or controlled by an adult. It can feel scary to let risk into our children's lives. We love them and want to protect them, but giving them a chance to learn about and manage reasonable risk helps them grow up into capable adults. However, this means that we too must take risks. Let's start by embracing risky play. It begins with us.